Hello and welcome to Updog Sports Talk. We have a special edition going over the Mountain West previews today. At Updog Sports Talk, we deliver honest, fan focused coverage that spotlights the teams, athletes, and communities that are often overlooked by mainstream sports media because your team has a story worth telling. So, we are going to be going over the Mountain West today. We're going to be going team by team. With each team, we'll be going over what we're most excited about with that team, what the biggest concern is with that team, what will keep their fans up at night this offseason as we head into the season, and then also what success looks like. It'll be a lot of fun. This won't be super in depth. I know for us, like a more in depth preview, you can head over to our Substack at Updog Sports Talk over there. We have more deeper previews of each of these teams. But that being said, that's enough talking from me. We are joined by a special guest, Omar, the Burger Popper, the Cornacchia Bowls. He's a writer for Redshirt Sports. He's a writer for As for Football. He does a lot of other things. Welcome, Omar.
Thank you, Justin. I appreciate it. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, whether it's football or even just like talking just life in general. I'm just glad to be here in the preseason. I'm glad we're able to do this now because I'm away for work. Don't have family obligations like in person at least. I still talk to my family while I'm away at work, but I'm just enjoying just soaking in and cramming for the start of the season, which is less than a month from now.
Yeah, we are almost there. When it comes to FCS, week 0 is less than a month away. That will start in August 27th. So very exciting stuff. We go to UTEP now. The Miners, reunited with programs out west. I'm really excited for them. This kind of feels like it's back in the old WAC days a little bit, which is where UTEP's program had more success. What excites you the most about the Miners in 2026?
I have to say, if I were to go to an individual person, I'm gonna go with Tavoris Jones, the transfer running back from Missouri. Not because he's from Missouri, but because he's a hometown guy from Burgess High School, and I really think so. Living in El Paso, living in Albuquerque, and playing high school football in the Albuquerque Metro, like I really think that like these are communities and these are markets that rally around their local guys. Even like you'll meet a lot of people in El Paso that just love Aaron Jones. Honestly, they love Aaron Jones, and in fact, like funny story about Aaron Jones, a sergeant that I knew well in my old unit, he told me about this time that apparently Aaron Jones went incognito at his unit's turkey bowl and just started like going off. Just started going off and like scoring touchdowns. Like they let family members play in the game, and of course, technically, Aaron Jones is a family member of said soldier, and so he just scored touchdowns. This, of course, I can't prove this, but this was a story that was told to me. But that's to say that the people of El Paso love Aaron Jones, and like I think for Tavoris Jones to come back and represent El Paso, and even Deion Hankins too. Even though he transferred out, like Deion Hankins was a fan favorite, a guy that people loved and supported. So I have to say I'm excited about Tavoris Jones just from my experience in the area, just from like El Paso needs kind of like a champion, like kind of like a I guess someone to rep the orange and blue, So I'm excited about him.
That's a good one. I'll go with a transfer as well. Northern Colorado receiver Carver Cheeks. I think he is going to be a guy who proves to be a difference maker for this offense. This offense just could not find easy scores last year. And he is a guy that can break into space and potentially break a long touchdown. Just kind of make the job a little bit easier for the quarterback, EJ Colson, on this team. What is your biggest concern for the Miners this year?
I think specifically, I'd have to say the quarterback position with EJ Colson because it seems like it's always been an uphill battle with this team in getting good quarterback play since Gavin Hardison graduated. Um, it's just really tough. I mean, Gavin Hardison was the man, honestly. Like, um, really talented, and I thought honestly, I drank the Malachi Nelson Kool Aid, and this is not a shot at him, but he just kind of under delivered when he played, and so now we have a guy EJ Colson who's experienced, highly touted out of the portal. Um, I'm kind of like concerned, honestly, about getting burnt twice, about getting excited about a UTEP transfer quarterback. I think the quarterback play and the influx of receivers that they did get, I think that helps a lot, honestly. But I'd be lying if I said I wasn't concerned about the quarterback position.
Yeah. And for me, another position that they have been trying to address and have had no success with, the offensive line is my biggest
Oh yeah.
concern. This unit was dysfunctional last year. Um, there wasn't really anything from the portal that is proven to be an instant solution for this. So you've got a lot of guys who have either struggled or are unproven at this level at the offensive line, and they desperately need the offensive line to be better this year. That has been one of the weak points for the Miners in the entire Scotty Walden era, really. So they definitely need that sorted out. What does success look like for UTEP in 2026?
So for me, time might be running out with like Scotty Walden, and I think Scotty Walden's got I think he's got a great heart, and I think he's ambitious, and I think he's got a great energy for the job. The results just haven't been there. But I think for me, for success for UTEP, I think UTEP just has to beat like specifically like I don't think a win over Northern Illinois would do as much for the local fan base. And let me just preface what I'm about to say with this. The UTEP fan base is arguably one of the best in the group of five. The city of El Paso will show up. They showed up for teams that UTEP had very little history with as a program. And they'll show up on a Tuesday night against Sam Houston, Wednesday night against Sam Houston, 20, 30,000 strong in the Sun Bowl. And I think a win. That's not to say. I think with what I'm going to say is like I think a win over Northern Illinois wouldn't do as much as a win over your Air Force, a win over your Nevada, your UNMs, your San Jose State. So I think if they get some wins over those old WAC rivals and kind of get the nostalgia turned back on for the UTEP fan base, I think that's successful because I was thinking a lot about NIL preparing for this podcast and about how some of these teams can succeed because in my mind I'm thinking like Wyoming because like there's always a debate between money and legacy. Like Wyoming should be able to be say like to give a legacy, or I guess present that legacy as a bargaining chip for its recruits to stay or attracting guys for NIL. Like with UTEP, like you have a hardworking community of people, you have a military town of people that become lifelong fans of the program like myself, and then you also have the border in Mexico too. Like you can like so that's like that's three very strong markets, one of them national, one of them local, one of them international even. And so I think if you get that buy-in, especially with the local fan base, and get a product on the field that brings back memories of, the old days when the WAC was around, that brings some hope to this fan base, I think the fans are going to show up in droves. Maybe not droves, but they're going to show up even stronger than they already do, and it's going to help the program out in the recruiting battle. So I guess I'm sorry for getting long winded with like New Mexico and Utah, but these are programs that like I've lived around and like can speak like passionately about because I want them to do well.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, that is such a really cool insight from someone that has lived there. And I've always loved UTEP as well. And their fan base is fantastic. Like, actually, really, when this podcast actually started to go somewhere, UTEP was definitely one of the first fan bases that really got behind us. Really enjoyed that we were talking about them. And so we always love to talk about the miners here. And I do think that maybe a bowl game is out of reach, but I think like you said, just they need some encouraging results. Win some games in the Sun Bowl. Maybe get very close, like 5 wins would look really good. And just show that, hey, you know what? First couple years are rough, but this thing is finally moving in the right direction. And in 2020, now that we're in the Mountain West, kind of feels like the old whack again. Coming up here shortly in the future, this team's going to get back to winning and getting back to a bowl game. So that's what I'm looking at for them as well.